Deep in the heart of Africa, hidden among the thick forests of Cameroon, ancient societies still uphold secrets passed down through generations. These are not your ordinary tales of history. They are whispers of knowledge, sacred teachings that have survived the passage of time, shielded from the outside world. From the intricate symbols of Nsibidi to the revered forest spirits, these ancient people have guarded their wisdom in ways that still baffle and captivate the modern world. What is Nsibidi, and why is it considered one of the most fascinating systems of sacred knowledge? Let's dive deeper into the world of ancient secret societies such as the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik. These societies were more than just cultural or social groups. They were protectors of sacred rites, initiates in the mysteries of life and death, and the guardians of knowledge that could shape the fate of entire communities. These societies used their intricate systems of symbols, rites, and rituals to communicate with the divine and the spiritual forces that governed their lives. Ever heard of a sacred skull cult? What do symbols like Nsibidi really mean? How do these ancient societies communicate knowledge through symbols and rituals? And what role did initiation rites play in unlocking these hidden truths? These are the questions that will guide us as we unravel the mysteries of Cameroon's secret societies. From the writing system of Nsibidi to the rituals of initiation and the sacred power of forest spirits, this is a journey into a world that few have ever entered, but many have been drawn to. In this video, we'll focus on the secret knowledge systems that have shaped the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik societies. We'll explore their initiation rites, how they communicate wisdom through symbols, and the spiritual power that these symbols hold. The sacred symbology that forms the foundation of these societies is not merely artistic. It's the key to understanding their worldview, their spirituality, and their very existence. Get ready to explore a world where knowledge is power, and the journey of initiation holds the key to unlocking its deepest secrets. The Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik societies. The Bamileke people, one of Cameroon's most prominent ethnic groups, are known for their rich cultural heritage and the profound secrecy that defines their way of life. In the highlands of Western Cameroon, the Bamileke maintain a strong sense of identity rooted in their traditional beliefs and customs. Their society is built on an intricate system of kingship, rituals, and sacred knowledge that is passed down through generations. These sacred rites, hidden from outsiders, are considered the very soul of their existence. Through their secrecy, the Bamileke preserve the sanctity of their beliefs and ensure that their knowledge remains in the hands of those chosen to uphold it. The Bantu-speaking peoples, who spread across much of Central, East, and Southern Africa, share many cultural and spiritual practices with the Bamileke. The Bantu's worldview is founded on a profound connection to the land, the spirits of the ancestors, and the forces of nature. Central to their spiritual systems is the belief in the power of knowledge as a living force, which can both protect and destroy. Like the Bamileke, the Bantu societies have a well-defined hierarchy where elders hold significant authority. These elders are revered not only as community leaders, but as custodians of sacred wisdom, and their role in preserving knowledge is paramount to the survival of their traditions. The Efik people, primarily found in southeastern Nigeria and Cameroon, also have a rich tradition of sacred knowledge, with their society centered around the Ekpe secret society. The Efik view the Ekpe society as a force that regulates social order, justice, and spiritual balance. Much like the Bamileke and Bantu, the Efik place great importance on initiation rites, where only those who are deemed worthy are allowed entry into the most sacred circles. Within the Ekpe society, members are taught to preserve the knowledge of the ancestors, and to pass down the wisdom of their forebears to the next generation. The Efik's deep connection to the spiritual world is reflected in their belief that the living and the dead exist in an eternal relationship, and it is through the Ekpe society that this connection is maintained. These societies share more than just geographical proximity. Their common belief in the power of secret knowledge systems, their initiation practices, and their reverence for elders and ancestral spirits form the backbone of their social structures. Kingship in these societies is not just a political institution, but a sacred role, entrusted with the preservation and communication of ancestral wisdom. The initiation rituals are considered rites of passage, where the initiate steps into a new world, guided by the wisdom of their elders and ancestors. This bond between the living and the dead is the cornerstone of these cultures, and it is through this sacred connection that the societies continue to thrive, generation after generation. Secret knowledge systems and initiation. In the heart of the African societies that thrive in the forests of Cameroon, the concept of secret knowledge is not just a tradition. It is the lifeblood that sustains their very identity. Passed down through the generations, this sacred knowledge is not meant for all. It is protected, carefully held by the elders, those who have spent decades understanding and living by the wisdom of the ancestors. These elders are seen as the bridge between the physical world and the spiritual realm, guiding the community with insights that come not from books or written texts, but from an inherited connection to the divine. The transmission of this wisdom is not a casual affair. It's a process steeped in rituals, bound by secrecy, and carried out only by those who have proven themselves worthy of such sacred responsibility. The initiation rites are where this sacred knowledge is passed on. For the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik peoples, becoming part of a secret society is not merely an act of joining a group. It is a transformation of the self. Young men and women undergo a series of initiation rituals, each more challenging and revealing than the last. These rites test not just physical strength, but wisdom, resilience, and spiritual connection. Initiates are often subjected to trials that push their mental and emotional boundaries, forcing them to confront fears, doubts, and the complexities of life. The process is designed to mold the individual into someone who can hold and protect the sacred knowledge of the ancestors, someone who understands the delicate balance between the physical world and the unseen spiritual forces that govern it. The role of the ancestors is central to the initiation process. They are not distant figures of the past, but active, living forces whose wisdom flows through the initiates as they undergo their trials. Through the rituals, initiates are believed to connect with their ancestors, receiving guidance and strength. The tests they undergo are not just for personal growth. They are seen as acts of communication with the spirit world. In these moments, the initiate is said to be reborn, gaining access to a deeper understanding of life, death, and the mysteries that lie between them. One of the most powerful symbols in these societies is the reverence for ancestral skulls. These skulls are not relics of the past, but are seen as vital spiritual tools. To the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik peoples, the skulls are direct connections to the spirits of the ancestors. They are revered and used in ceremonies to invoke the guidance and protection of those who came before. These skulls are often displayed during rituals, their presence ensuring that the teachings of the ancestors are never forgotten. They represent the continuation of life and knowledge, serving as a link between the living and the dead. In ceremonies, the skulls are placed at the center of sacred spaces, where they are treated with the utmost respect. Their use is symbolic of the belief that the ancestors are always present, watching over the community and guiding its leaders. The rituals surrounding the skulls are not only about remembering the past, they are about drawing from the ancient knowledge to address present challenges. The connection to the afterlife through these skulls reinforces the idea that death is not an end but a continuation of the journey. Through these rituals, the living remain in constant communication with those who have passed, ensuring that the wisdom of the ancestors remains an active, guiding force. Nsibidi writing and sacred symbology. Nsibidi is a unique and ancient form of writing, one that predates the arrival of formal written languages in Central and West Africa. Originating from the southeastern part of Nigeria and extending into parts of Cameroon, Nsibidi is a visual language, a system of symbols that communicates complex ideas, emotions, and teachings without the need for spoken or written words. Unlike modern alphabets, Nsibidi doesn't rely on letters or sounds. Instead, it uses symbols and pictures, each one conveying a deeper meaning that can only be understood by those initiated into the knowledge system. Its origins are shrouded in mystery, but scholars agree that Nsibidi was first used by secret societies to preserve sacred knowledge, ensuring that the wisdom passed down through generations would remain protected from the outside world. Over the centuries, Nsibidi evolved from its early use in tribal marks and body art to a full-fledged system of communication. It spread across various ethnic groups, especially within the Efik, Ibibio, and other southeastern Nigerian peoples, and even influenced societies in Cameroon. The symbols are not just abstract designs. They have practical applications in everyday life, as well as deep spiritual significance. Nsibidi was used in rituals, in communication between elders, and in the transmission of sacred knowledge. It has also been found etched onto pottery, painted on walls, and even incorporated into architectural designs. The symbols represent a fusion of the tangible and the intangible, connecting the physical world with the spiritual dimensions. Among the key symbols in the Nsibidi system are those that represent life, death, the elements, and the forces of nature. Some symbols represent the human body, while others embody concepts like strength, wisdom, and protection. For instance, one symbol might represent the spirit world, while another represents the forces of fertility and growth. These symbols were often used during rituals to invoke specific powers or to communicate with the ancestral spirits. They were also used as a form of personal identification, marking the wearer as someone with special knowledge or standing within the community. Nsibidi was not merely a tool for communication, but a sacred language, designed to encode knowledge in a way that would safeguard it from those not authorized to access it. Its use was restricted to certain secret societies and initiation circles. In these societies, the symbols were understood only by those who had undergone the necessary rites of passage and had been granted access to the deeper meanings behind the symbols. The presence of Nsibidi in rituals, body art, and even on the walls of sacred spaces ensured that the knowledge contained within the symbols was protected from outsiders, guarding the sacred wisdom from those uninitiated into the mysteries of the system. Through this visual language, the societies maintained their secrecy, preserving not only their cultural identity but also their spiritual power. The ability to understand and use Nsibidi was a mark of initiation and a symbol of belonging to a select group that held the keys to ancient, powerful knowledge. The language of Nsibidi, like the societies that used it, remains a testament to the enduring power of sacred symbols and the depth of the knowledge they hold. The Ekpe Secret Society and the Forest Spirits. The Ekpe Secret Society is one of the most fascinating and powerful institutions within the Efik and other southeastern Nigerian cultures, particularly in Cameroon. More than just a social organization, Ekpe is a spiritual and political force, governing everything from justice and social order to the connection with the supernatural. Central to the Ekpe society is its role as the keeper of sacred knowledge, and only those initiated into its mysteries are allowed to access its deeper teachings. Ekpe society members undergo rigorous initiation rites that not only grant them access to secrets, but also align them with the spiritual forces that govern both the physical and spiritual realms. For the Efik, Ekpe is not just an organization, but a living, breathing entity that connects them to their ancestors and the spirit world. It is through the Ekpe society that the Efik are able to communicate with the forest spirits, who are believed to control the forces of nature and the unseen world. The forest spirits are considered protectors of the land, and they are revered as powerful entities that can influence the lives of those who honor them. These spirits are not abstract beings, but are believed to have tangible effects on the lives of the Efik people. The Ekpe society, through its rituals, serves as the intermediary between the living and the spirits, maintaining a delicate balance between the two realms. Initiates into the Ekpe society undergo a series of sacred trials that are meant to connect them with the forest spirits. These rituals often take place in the deep woods, away from the eyes of the uninitiated, where the presence of the spirits is believed to be strongest. These rites are designed to awaken the spiritual connection within the initiate, allowing them to communicate with the spirits and access the hidden knowledge that the Ekpe society holds. The deeper the initiate's connection with the spirits, the more powerful their understanding of the sacred knowledge becomes. At the core of Ekpe's rituals are not just the initiates, but the sacred symbols and objects used to invoke the power of the forest spirits. Among these objects, the most revered are the ritual masks and the sacred items carried by the society's leaders. These masks are believed to embody the spirits of the forest and are used during ceremonies to invite the spirits into the physical realm. The presence of the forest spirits in these ceremonies is a powerful reminder of the Efik people's enduring connection with the spiritual world. The role of the forest spirits in the Ekpe society is not only one of guidance and protection, but also of justice. These spirits are believed to intervene in the affairs of the living, ensuring that balance and order are maintained within the society. Through their guidance, the Ekpe society is able to dispense justice, settle disputes, and ensure that the laws of the land are upheld. The forest spirits, as protectors of the knowledge of the ancestors, are seen as the ultimate arbiters of moral and spiritual law. The sacred relationship between the living and the forest spirits is also reflected in the way the Efik view death and the afterlife. To them, death is not an end, but a transition into the spiritual realm, where the ancestors continue to play an active role in the lives of the living. It is through the Ekpe society that this connection to the afterlife is maintained, ensuring that the wisdom of the ancestors is always accessible to those who are worthy to receive it. The forest spirits are seen as the bridge between the living and the dead, carrying the knowledge of the past into the present and ensuring that the sacred teachings of the ancestors never fade. The mystical power of the symbols. In the traditional societies where Nsibidi symbols originated, these sacred marks were far more than mere decorations. They were integral to daily life. From the clothing worn to the walls of homes, and even the design of sacred spaces, Nsibidi permeated every aspect of life. The symbols could be found on ceremonial garb, often painted on the body or woven into fabrics, creating a direct connection between the individual and the spiritual realm. These symbols were also incorporated into the architecture of sacred structures inscribed on the walls of shrines, temples, and community centers. In this way, the symbols acted as both a form of communication and a spiritual protection, ensuring that the wisdom of the ancestors was present in every corner of daily existence. But beyond their decorative role, the Nsibidi symbols also carried powerful magical functions. They were believed to possess the ability to ward off evil spirits, protect the wearer from harm, and bring prosperity to the community. Certain symbols were specifically designed to invoke the blessings of the ancestors, while others were used to maintain harmony between the living and the spiritual forces. In some cases, the symbols were also thought to act as charms, carrying protective energy that would shield the bearer from misfortune or illness. This belief in the magical power of symbols underscores the deep connection between the physical world and the unseen spiritual forces that these societies revered. The symbols, thus, were more than just representations. They were living entities charged with the energy of the ancestors and the forces of nature. Nsibidi's influence, however, did not remain confined to the communities where it originated. Over time, its impact spread, reaching across Africa and even into the African diasporic communities in the Americas. As African peoples were dispersed due to the transatlantic slave trade, they carried their symbols, rituals, and sacred knowledge with them. While Nsibidi itself may not have remained intact in its original form, elements of its symbolism found their way into the cultural practices of the diaspora. The use of symbols for spiritual protection, as well as the continued importance of ancestral reverence, can be seen in practices such as hoodoo, voodoo, and other African-derived spiritual traditions. The migration of these symbols illustrates their enduring power and their ability to transcend time and geography, continuing to influence and guide African-descended communities across the world. As we bring this journey to a close, we stand at the crossroads of history, culture, and the unseen world. The stories of the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik societies, their sacred knowledge, and their mystical symbols are not just relics of the past. They are living forces that continue to shape the present. From the ancient wisdom encoded in Nsibidi writing to the deep spiritual connection with the forest spirits, these societies offer us a glimpse into a world where knowledge is not just learned, but lived. It is a world where symbols speak louder than words, where initiation rites connect the living to the dead, and where the power of the ancestors continues to guide the community in every step of its journey. In these societies, the wisdom of the elders is more than just knowledge. It is a sacred trust, passed down through generations, safeguarding the future of the community. Through their symbols, rituals, and sacred practices, the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik have preserved a way of life that is deeply rooted in spirituality, community, and respect for the forces of nature. As we reflect on their traditions, we are reminded of the power of symbols, not only to protect and guide, but to inspire and awaken us to the deeper mysteries of the world around us. So as you walk through your own world, remember the sacred knowledge that flows through the ancient symbols, the rites, and the spiritual connections that have withstood the test of time. These stories are not just for history books. They are a part of who we are, and they continue to shape the path we walk today. If this journey through the mysteries of the Bamileke, Bantu, and Efik societies has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Join us as we continue to explore the profound and captivating stories of cultures that continue to resonate with us in ways that go far beyond mere curiosity. These teachings are alive, waiting to be rediscovered, embraced, and shared once more. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Now let the knowledge of the past guide us into the future.